We are here at CEDIA 2024 with Phil Jones. We're going to be talking about the new 13.2 channel Denon AVR-A10H in this video. All right, guys, we are back with Phil. And Phil, you guys brought another AVR out in the Denon line. Let's get a rundown. The A10H. It's a little confusing because I think of the A1H.
Yes. So if you think about it, we've at Denon always used to have two levels of product. We had the S series. So think of that as for an entry level enthusiast that's looking for great performance. Then you had kind of the X series. The X series, we started adding more custom integration features, little simple things like detachable power cords and longer warranties and stuff to make it a better piece, and the prices go up higher. Then they decided to take it one step higher. So now we basically have a third series of Denon receivers. The first one you saw last year was the A1H, and that is the King Kong of all AVRs, right? 15 channels of processing, four sub channels. So if you want to do a nine on the floor and 6 in the ceiling and 4 subwoofers, you could do that. And everybody loved it. But that sucker is what, $64.99. And people go, wow, I may not need all of that stuff, but some of the capabilities that were built into that, I want that build quality. I want the functionality. But before, if I want to go down from that 15 channel to the 13 channel, that meant I got an X8500. Right. That used to be the biggest, baddest AVR. And in most other brands' lineup, it's still the biggest, baddest AVR. So they were like, well, wow, I love all the things you've done with the A1, but I only need the channel count of an 8500. And that's where the A10 comes in. It has the same amount of channels, higher performance than the 8500, but the same amount of channels, but it has all of the other capabilities, the better video switching, the latest GUIs and everything else.
Yeah, so basically the 8500 is going away at this point, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
and
the
it's
next
being
model
replaced
down
by the A10.
Gotcha. So it's 6800, A10, and then A1.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, you answered my question, actually, because I was going to ask you the difference between the 8500 and this one, because I know it has a similar power core, but you're saying the amplifier modules in the A10 are greatly improved over
the whole thing is, if you ask, an engineer is always thinking about ways they can improve a product right after it's done, right?
Yeah.
So they've made, if you think about an A10 and an A1H, right? It's the monolithic, the way the monolithic layout, right? One of them has 8 boards on this side and 7 boards on that side for 15 channels. These are the same boards that are in an A1H, but instead of having 7 on this side and 8 on that side, it's 7 on this side and 6 on that, 13. So instead of using 15 boards, I'm using 13 boards, but the boards are the same. The output of the boards are the same. The performance are the same. The only difference between the two is if I add 2 more channels amplification, I have to upgrade some things. The power supply, the toroidal power supply on an A1 is going to be bigger. Why? Because I'm driving more channels, right? The capacitors are bigger. Why? Because I'm driving more channels. But if I took the left and right channel of an A1 and the left and right channel of an A10, they would measure the same. If I made a 5 channel system with an A1 and an A10, they would measure the same. It's just as to maintain that performance, getting into 9.1.6 requires a huge leap. We were just talking before about the diminishing returns thing. That the 2 channels requires a whole lot of work to get done. And that's why there's a pretty decent jump in price between the 2 models.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you could see the build quality follows the same kind of principles as the A1. So it looks awesome. I was going to ask you about do we have the same functionality with 2 speaker presets, or has that been changed?
Yeah, dual speaker presets are still there, but a couple things you can do. I just did a course here. If you guys we're always at the Meridian, by the way. We're going to be here on Saturday, tomorrow as well. But if you ever come to the Meridian Hotel, we have tons of demo spaces, and we also do trainings here, by the way, for anybody that's at the CEDIA show. And I just did one on Dirac and one on Odyssey. So you still have your dual speaker presets, right?
Yeah.
But if I have Dirac, I can put on speaker preset number 2 and have 3 selections. Then I could take that first selection and do Odyssey. What I do is I normally have multiple Odyssey presets done either in my laptop or in the little app that costs $20, and it takes 10 seconds or 20 seconds to boot between them. So why there's only 2 dual presets in the AVR, because of how you can utilize either the app or the filters on Dirac, you can have 7, 8 of these things if you so wanted to.
Gotcha. Now, I wanted to be clear because the literature initially said that there was 15 channels of processing on this receiver. There's actually only 13.4.
Yeah, it's 13. Yeah, it's 13 because I was looking at that. It's 13 channels of processing, 13 channels of amplification.
Yeah, I just wanted to make that clear for everybody. So awesome. It looks like you guys have really moved things up. And this model is also made in the same factory as the A10H. It's the
Shirakawa. One of the things, like a lot of the products, I believe, like 4,800 and above for Denon is built in Shirakawa, Japan. It helps with, because we're using the same boards when it comes to like the amplifier stages on the A series, and we're using the same HDMI boards on the A1 and the A10, and then we're using the same Helios modules on every product. There's a level of efficiency that you get there, that everything gets high performance. And now it's just how many channels do you want, or how many HDMI inputs do you want? But if you don't need as many HDMI inputs, or you don't need as many channels, you still get the same level of performance but just in a smaller package.
Gotcha. Well, Phil, I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to checking these receivers out when we get one of these, either for review or just to get a demo at a next trade show. Guys, if you like this video, please hit the thumb up, hit subscribe. Don't forget about our Patreon channel at patreon.com/audioholics. We appreciate your support. You get direct access to me if you want to suggest video topics. And I just want to remind you, we do have a write-up down below, so please check that out to get more details on the product. And until next time, my friends, keep listening.
Take care, everyone.